Ah, that was a really big night. Hello everybody and welcome to my review of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Now before I get stuck into this review, I just want to give a quick shout out to a couple of friends of mine, Tegan and Beck, who are not only big supporters of my channel, but yeah, recently gave me a healthy dose of inspiration and yeah, they're pretty awesome people and I just wanted to say hi. And you'll also have to forgive me if I seem a little bit sleepy because oh my god, I am. Went to the midnight premiere last night. Look, I didn't get to bed till like 4:30. And yeah, you know, I've been trying to sleep all day. Oh no. But without further ado, let's get stuck into the review of The Last Jedi. So this is the 8th installment in the Star Wars franchise, this time around directed by Rian Johnson, and in our story we continue from where The Force Awakens left off, and we've got the Resistance who are being pursued through the galaxy by the First Order, in other words, the good guys being chased by the bad guys. So General Leia Organa, played by Carrie Fisher, R.I.P., sends Rey, played by Daisy Ridley, off to seek out the help of Luke Skywalker, of course played by Mark Hamill. Do I even need to say that? Because he's kind of this one thing that they think they need in order to defeat Kylo Ren, played by Adam Driver, and Supreme Leader Snoke, who is voiced by Andy Serkis. And if that sounds a little bit confusing, basically the good guys send one of their good guys off to get this most awesome good guy in order to beat the bad guys. But while the good guy is over getting the good guy, she also starts undergoing Jedi training, which was really awesome. Now look, obviously, you know, there's been a lot of movies this year that I have said were among my most anticipated movies. This one was my most anticipated movie. For those who are new to my channel, look, I am a massive Star Wars fan. Ever since I was 4 years old, first time I saw A New Hope in '77. Yes, I'm that old. Yeah, it's defined who I am in life. I am a huge Star Wars fan, so I was really looking forward to seeing what they were going to do with this one, and my goodness, it delivered something so fresh and unique and original, and I loved every bit of it. Okay, not every bit. There were some bits I didn't like, but I'll get to that. Now look, if you go into this movie expecting what we've already seen before, you're possibly going to be a little disappointed. I know this movie seems to be polarizing people yet again. So many movies this year have been doing that, but yeah, look, just open your mind to something different. This movie, it implements a lot of filmmaking techniques that we haven't seen in a Star Wars film before, but why not? I mean, at the end of the day, it is a movie, and, you know, like, there's a scene, I'm obviously not going to give any spoilers whatsoever because, God, there were so many brilliant surprises in this thing, but there's a scene where they talk about an event that happened in the past with some characters, but you sort of see it from 3 different perspectives throughout the film, and I loved that. You know, it was something that we just haven't seen in a Star Wars film before, and I thought it just breathed a bit of fresh air into it, and, oh man, so many other things. The humor in the film, it's quite possibly the funniest Star Wars film, but none of the humor seemed forced or anything. It was just, yeah, the jokes were really on point. Visually, everything was top-notch. The special effects were so great. Supreme Leader Snoke, the CG on him, it looked really believable. I thought he was great. The returning cast, yeah, you know, I mean, we've met these characters before. We know who they are. So this time around, it gave the actors a bit more room to move with them, and everybody did a really great job with their characters. And in terms of new characters, this time around we've got actors like Laura Dern, Benicio del Toro. Yeah, I thought everyone was great, and everybody served a purpose in the story. And that was the thing, you know, the script was really good. Everything served a purpose in the story. Like, I've spoken to a few people who, you know, were like, oh, I didn't like when this happened or when this happened, but to me, yeah, these events needed to be in the film because they served a purpose. That was the thing that this movie did so well. It put the characters and the story first, which, let's face it, any good story is going to be having the characters first and foremost, and I really thought The Last Jedi succeeded there. And it's really hard to talk about this film without giving away some of the surprises, but oh god, there's so many. The marketing campaign for this film was bang on. What we saw in the trailers gave us enough to know vaguely what the movie was going to be about. But, oh, they've left so much out. So much really awesome stuff. And this movie even got 2 rounds of applause through the film from the audience where I saw it. There was a couple of moments in this film that were just incredible, including one fight scene which, again, not going to say who's in it or anything, but there's one fight scene which, oh man, it was up there with the best I've seen in a Star Wars film, if not the best. And the fight choreography in it was incredible. There were a lot of scenes in this film that sort of, I don't know, reminded me of older films, sort of some influence of like samurai and kung fu films, which again is a really good thing. And another one of my most favorite things about this film was the score by John Williams. Not only did it serve the story just absolutely perfectly, but there were a lot of really cool little musical cues that were throwbacks to previous films. For instance, when the camera comes down at the start from the opening crawl, we actually hear those familiar notes from A New Hope, and there's a Millennium Falcon sequence in the film which took some musical cues from the asteroid field sequence in The Empire Strikes Back. So yeah, I thought that was really clever. It just kind of, I don't know, lent a little bit of a sense of familiarity to the film. So being that I can't really talk too much more about the positives, look, in terms of negatives, the only thing that let it down a little bit for me was in the middle of the film, in the second act, there's a subplot involving Finn and a new character named Rose, and it didn't really gel with the rest of the film. Without giving anything away, it's got something to do with them freeing some animals, but even like the location they were on, everything about it, I just kind of felt they could have done something very different with that sequence. But it didn't take away from the enjoyment of the film. Like, seriously, the third act was mind-blowing. So many incredible things happened in it, and I really cannot wait to see this movie again and again and again. It is easily up there with the best of the Star Wars films, and I am going to give Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, a 9 out of 10. Alrighty, so that's my thoughts on The Last Jedi, my very spoiler-free thoughts, which just makes it so difficult to talk about it. So I'll probably do a spoiler discussion about the movie in the near future. But in the meantime, let me know what you thought, because obviously there's as many people who didn't like the film as there are people who did like it, so I would love to hear what you guys thought of it. Even if you didn't like it, let me know what you thought. So go ahead, drop me some comments either here or on Facebook. All my social media links are in the description below, because I like to talk about movies, and I would love to talk about movies with you. I'll catch you next time.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.